LBC News.
4:53 right now. John Stratford with you here on LBC News. Let's bring you up to date with the sporting headlines this evening. Tottenham have sacked their manager Thomas Frank after just 8 months in charge. Last night's 2-1 defeat to Newcastle was an 8th Premier League game for Spurs without a win. It leaves them only 5 points above the relegation zone, and they face rivals Arsenal next a week on Sunday. Let's speak to Chris Cowlin, host of the Spurs Chat Podcast. Thank you for joining us, Chris. Your reaction to the news that Thomas Frank has gone?
Afternoon, John. I think it's definitely the right decision. The fan base were very, very frustrated by results and performances. The football has been extremely boring this season, and I think a lot of fans have been very patient with Thomas Frank, and we've all wanted it to work. We've all wanted to, get good results and see good performances, but it simply hasn't been there. And I think that this is the right decision. We've fallen to 16th in the Premier League table, 5 points above the relegation zone, and things just simply haven't been good enough. Yes, we've been through a lot of managers, but I think sometimes you just need to hold your hands up and say that this was the wrong appointment, this was the wrong fit for Tottenham, and Spurs are used to playing decent, attractive football, and we haven't seen that this year at all.
And yet, of course, Spurs, you're in the last 16 of the Champions League.
Of course, yeah, it's a weird one. Of course, we won the Europa League under Ange Postecoglou last year. A lot of people would say, yes, we've got a lot of injuries, which is very true. But, when you have injuries like Thomas Frank has all season, you've got to find a way to win. Yes, we played some decent football in European competition. And the home record in the Premier League has been abysmal in these last few years. However, it's been exceptional in European competition. It's like chalk and cheese. But you've got to be fighting on all fronts, like the club said at the start of the season. Yes, we've had injuries. We could talk about transfer windows. The transfer windows haven't been good enough. The depth needs to be a lot better. But ultimately, football is a results business, and you need to get results in all competitions.
Are you fearful for the club?
I had hoped that Spurs would have made this decision a couple of weeks ago. I'll be completely honest. I think that it would have been best a few weeks ago. Yes, we've had a very tough Feb with the fixtures that we've had so far. We've got Arsenal up next, but where we are in the Premier League table right now, we're now looking over our shoulders at the likes of Nottingham Forest and Leeds United and West Ham United. And, we're 5 points away from the relegation zone. So these next 12 games are absolutely vital. I just hope now that we get an interim manager in, somebody that knows the club, someone that has perhaps even managed the club before or even played for the football club. Someone who loves the football club and is going to come in, do a good job, secure Premier League status, and then we can perhaps review the situation and hire a permanent manager in the summer.
And do you have any thoughts about who the permanent manager should be?
Well, I think if you've listened to the crowd the last couple of games, Manchester United away, and of course last night's game against Newcastle, the fans were singing Mauricio Pochettino's name. I know that Mauricio Pochettino has said on a number of occasions that he would like to come back to Tottenham, and I think that the majority of the Spurs fans right now would love to see Pochettino come back. But what I would say is whoever comes through that door, things need to change as a football club. It's not just about one individual. The club need to change. The transfer windows need to change. The ambition needs to change. So, yeah, if I was Pochettino thinking about coming back, I'd probably ask 1,001 questions to make sure that he is going to be backed in the right way.
Chris Cowlin from the Spurs Chat Podcast, thank you for joining us here on LBC News. We've got 5 more Premier League matches tonight. Aston Villa hosting Brighton, Crystal Palace at home to Burnley.